Okay. Back to the show. For people who keep up with this show, I gotta apologize. I'm getting back on track here. It's Inane Blather. It's episode 125. It's a new year still. I think this is the second episode of the new year. That shows how far off track I am. It's probably come out immediately after the previous episode. What's that?
Yeah. Was our first... did we do one on New Year's Day? Maybe?
Yes.
I think? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Something like that.
This is lit.
But, I'm working on stuff.
Sounds like you're pretty into this, buddy.
But, I'm getting on track. Getting on track with all of this.
I'm sorry, Inane Blather. I'm not the best at living my life.
And that's all I have to say about that.
I haven't heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the new drop.
Nice.
And
I'm sorry, Inane Blather. I'm not the best at living my life.
I'm seeing him in a couple weeks.
I think it goes well with...
How do I possibly figure out this impossible riddle? Thank you, life, you asshole.
Yeah, that works well. What is going on with my dumb garage band? Anyway, it is...
Inane Blather.
And it is...
Not good.
Even though...
So true.
If you listen... to the show, you are
owned. Consider yourself owned because you are.
And if you listen to the show often,
it's pretty important to know that part.
Yeah, that's not what I thought that drop was. But anyway,
because you're an honorless, lying little turd.
Yeah, exactly. That's true, RM. But it's Inane Blather. Where we blather inanely about a variety of inane topics full of blather. I'm blathering on because I don't even know what we're going to talk about today. We'll probably just field questions from a group of ravenous, foaming at the mouth,
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
So, have you been keeping up with all of your New Year's resolutions in the first week of the new year, Natalie?
No, I haven't. I don't know. Did I say I made some? I don't really know what I said. Who knows? I don't keep track of what I say. But, I feel like so when I start to do new things, or if I have knock my microphone over. If I have a goal or whatever, I like to start things on a Monday or the first or whatever. Okay. So I like, this is how our society keeps track of years. It's in January. That's the first of New Year. Great. But I also like, I think I've mentioned it before, my friend Brittany, she was like, I don't make my New Year's resolutions in January. That's like the middle of winter. It's like not like a really inspiring, motivating time, especially you're out here up in the Pacific Northwest. It's dark early. It's been so gross it's like here. Cold. Ugh. It's overcast, all these kinds of things. So like spring is like when she does like her intention setting is probably more of what she would say. Because it's a time of growth and renewal and like new life and all of that. So it like makes more sense to like, that's like a new year would be like springtime. So I do have some goals that I, like I said, I do like that things like the first Monday, whatever. So I would say I want to lose 25 pounds because I can't fit into any of my fucking clothes. Yeah. And it's not about I look great and all this kind of stuff and I like the way I look and blah, 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 blah. People, not to brag, but people hit on me all the time. But it's like I can't put
and I need to look sickly. I need to ward these people off.
I want to look gaunt. Yeah. No, I can't wear the clothes that I like to wear. And some of it, it's like, damn, like I can't wear this anymore. And it's pretty forgiving, like thing where I'm like, this is too tight on my arms now. I've gotten too fat, which is, I have. That's just the truth. I need to lose or whatever, 20 pounds of fat. Like I weigh like 220, whatever. It's too much for me. I look great because I'm 5'10", and I got big titties and a fat ass, and that's nice. But I would like to have more than I have one pair of pants that essentially fits me, and they're white jeans. So that's not the most.
You don't want that as your default. Yeah.
No, and our washing machine, for some reason, I don't know what's happening, but every time I take them out of the wash, they're dirtier than when they went in. The drum is dirty, and these jeans pick up every single fucking speck, so I have to go wash them. Blah, blah, blah. It's this whole thing. It's not fun, to have very limited options, and I am too poor to just buy a new wardrobe all the time. I can't do that, and that's wasteful, and I don't want to. And I have clothes that I like, and some of it I'm just I really like getting dressed. Umberto and I went out to oh man, I should take you there. We went to a Brazilian steakhouse. They come to your table and they cut the meat onto your plate,
I've
off a skewer
that.
and stuff. It was really good. We both really ate a lot, and it was how about we eat a lot? Yeah. And for our anniversary.
Well, that resolution's done. Eat a lot.
Yeah. But finding something to wear, it was this isn't very fun either. It's not very rewarding, no matter how whatever pretty I might be. But if you don't have clothes that are fitting you, it's well, what am I supposed to do? I can't go out nude, which I would prefer. I feel I'd look better than a pair of jeans that's cutting off my circulation, where I can't even walk.
But
so
you cut your circulation off enough, you lose a foot, you lose half a leg,
lose a limb.
Boom, instant
it's a quick
pounds.
Way to lose weight.
Shedding pounds.
So and also it's it goes hand in hand. I got to work on my goddamn cardio. Danae and I were kind of talking about that, about how, running up the stairs, it's I shouldn't be this winded. So I gotta.
It's good for your
I gotta
heart.
do some more.
Long-term health.
I'm pretty out of shape, I would say. I'm gained a lot of fat from just being sedentary and snacking a bunch, and having a partner who goes to the gym all the time, so they can snack with me and not them. I don't go with, and that's something I was I didn't really want to impose on their gym time, but Umberto was I would love it if you came with, so that was nice to hear, because it's people can have their want their, of course, hobbies or whatever that they do alone, but I need to set I'm not going to jump back into the gym because I'm setting myself up for being disappointed in myself that way. I feel I need to just start going for a walk maybe every day is a total possibility, and something you're not supposed to say should, awesome. But I should already be doing it.
Yeah.
But, I have some health things because I'm I am out of shape, and that's not fun. It's not fun to be winded easily. It's not fun to feel weak.
To be out of the shape that you want to be in.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily about the looks, though I am very vain, but I do look, I just went to a party and I wore a bodysuit under some lingerie. Oh, I look great. Like I said, I got big titties and a fat ass. I look, extremely curvy in all the, I got my waist and all this kind of stuff.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's not about that. It's I'm not body shaming myself. I think I look hot or whatever.
That doesn't
but
get
it's
you
about
anywhere.
Oh man, I feel just not because of the way I look, because the way I feel, I feel Jabba the Hutt. I'm just really just
I feel.
Yeah,
that's the best way
on the
to
inside.
Describe it. Yeah.
Yes, I look great.
yeah, but I feel blobular. Yeah,
like a big old slug.
Yeah, it was my only defense. But
so that's probably my biggest kind of intention this year is to get
health.
And you know what? It kind of goes along with, I used to be a lot more afraid of we talked about this on New Year's, I wanted to shave my head. I used to be a lot more afraid of looking very masculine. I used to be very a lot pretty hyper feminine. I wore fake lashes. I always did my makeup and my hair and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that, and I still like to do that sometimes. But I was very afraid that people would think that I was a dude. Like, I thought I was
Yeah.
really like ugly and masculine without
'Cause you look too
makeup,
much like
but
me.
now, yeah, and now I find it to be. I don't wear makeup for the most part anymore, and I
Oh,
like
yeah.
my face, and I like it when I look like masculine, like I can pull off that kind of look. I like that about me now,
The way
like
that you
gender
look.
bending, and I feel like, yeah, I feel like less afraid about like doing things at the gym, like, you know how women with big muscles and stuff has been like, people kind of whatever, people got a lot to
Hey,
say
it's
about
in
it
now.
and it probably
If
used to
you're on
bother
Twitter,
me
you'd
a lot
know.
more, but and I know that I got some big arms, you know, I'm kind of a big, like I said,
You gotta
I'm
get your
5'10".
back,
I'm like,
and you could be.
yeah, I used to have
You could have some
Some of
instant
that.
followers.
yeah, and I got some big biceps, I'll say.
Yeah.
Back when I was fit, even when I was like a way slimmer, it was like, damn, look at your arms and your
Yeah.
shoulders. And it was like nice. And now I feel like I could go, you know, I'm thinking about shaving my head on my 35th birthday, giving myself some time to get like a little,
Oh, yeah, you're not 35.
for my
though.
own sake, being, yeah, I'll be 35 in May. But I, you know, getting and being like more of like a muscle mommy and like being more comfortable with that, a lot more
It's a
comfortable
goal.
with that, especially like with Umberto being very fit
Mhm.
and like appreciating that body type a lot on women or men or
Mhm.
non-binary or whatever. It feels like a lot more supportive to where I can like kind of do that, like I can explore like how I'd want my body to look instead of just being really focused on being like very, I mean, catering for sure, certainly to the male gaze,
Mhm.
you know, instead of the male gaze, you
Mhm.
know, who I would
Yeah,
rather
both.
cater to, and like being, yeah, like just very, very like aware of like my femininity and like always wanting that on display, always looking fuckable and all that. And now being a lot more, and you know who hits on me mostly now? Women.
Yeah.
That's been, and you know what? It's pretty fucking nice, I'll say.
Sure.
It's like I truly like almost don't get like creeped on anymore. Like men like that, just like kind of, I guess I do what people are saying on Instagram and stuff, is like how to wear like man repellent things. And
Yeah.
I'm not
I was just
meaning to.
repel
I'm
men.
just like,
That's good.
yeah. Though then sometimes
That's a-
when I do, with like when I wear, or and I'm just in a different place too, like literally physically in a place where I'm not surrounded by creeps. I don't really go out to the bar in the same way that I
Yeah.
used to. And like when I'm wearing a bodysuit with my literal ass hanging out at a party full of cool people,
Yeah.
men aren't coming up and being disgusting pigs anymore,
Yeah.
even if I am
You're
like
not
hyper
at a bar.
feminine.
You're at
you
like
know?
some queer friendly thing in Seattle with people that you know. Yeah.
Yeah, queer friendly. I feel like there's a lot more ass and titties hanging out with a lot less groping.
Yeah. A
You
lot
know?
more consent involved.
Yeah,
you know?
I would say people
lot
like
more understanding.
better boundaries.
Yeah,
I would say, and
exactly.
like more conscious people.
Yeah. You know,
that I'm
people
surrounded
just
by
with
instead of
more
just like
brains,
douchebags.
generally speaking.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. So it's kind of nice, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
actually, to be able to kind of be. Yeah. Oh wow. Who would have thought being yourself could feel pretty good, huh?
Yeah. And from the outside, like,
Everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
and yet they continue. They're like,
So forget about it, cuz.
they're going to continue. So, yeah, getting healthier is a good resolution.
What's you have some?
Yeah, I mean, that would be one for me. I'm already, but I mean, I just have to get back on it. I'm already trying to lose weight. And I'm already like on a health plan. It's just like, I finally went back to the gym for like the first time in 2 weeks, and it was like so brutal. Because of the holidays and all that. But, and I went back today too, and it felt good. So I just have to start squeezing it back into the
Does feel
schedule. I have to get better sleep. That's the thing. You know what? That's a good resolution. Honestly, even more than the gym. It's like, get better sleep. Just in general. I need to get better sleep. It's so bad. I'm so bad with it.
Yeah.
It would be life-changing if I got better sleep. And like,
I think that's one of
don't.
those things
I'm
where
very
it's like,
bad with it.
when I was doing that, I was like, I'm in bed by 11 and my lights are off at midnight. I'm off my phone, and I was doing that for a while, like last year, and it definitely really helped. And I feel like it is like one of those things where it has to be like how it is with like sobriety or something. Like, I don't drink anymore, or I go to bed at midnight, and that is like part of who I am. I tell people that's what I do. I make it really real. I hold myself accountable by not like hiding it. So I don't, if I'm the only person I have to justify it to, oh god damn, I am so easy to convince.
Yeah.
I give into peer pressure for myself all the time. So I feel like it's something where it's like, you have to decide. Like I feel, for me anyways, like that's with sobriety. Though I will say, Umberto and I went to that dinner, and I had, for the first time in over 3 years, I had a glass of red wine with it, and it was really nice. It was like really, I had one glass of wine. It lasted our entire meal. It was a Pinot Noir that was really delicious, and it felt like, that's nice. That
With
feels like
what?
a whole experience. Well, at that Brazilian place,
the
they bring you
Brazil-
all kinds of different cuts of meat. There's like, I mean, there's chicken, or there's bacon wrapped steak, and there's
there's
pork
some red
belly.
meat in
Oh
there
my
with
god!
that.
There was all kinds of red meat coming. There was
Yeah.
chicken, there's pork, there's beef. There was like this fried cheese that they had that was like, whoa, this is so fucking good. Umberto was like disgustingly full when we left.
Yeah.
And when we were walking back to the light rail station, we had to like, it was like kind of rainy, drizzly. It's at night, it's all concrete and stuff, and there's just like a guy laid out on the sidewalk. I'm like, what can I can't, like, literally I have no cash, I have no nothing for this guy, and we're like so full we can barely even move, and he's just laying there on the concrete like, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, you're like, I
felt
feel
so-
even worse.
Yeah, like I want to feel it. I want to throw up for a different reason now.
Yeah. I want to throw up twice. I want to doubly throw up. Oh, man.
But I feel like with the sleep thing,
Huh?
that's with the sleep thing that I feel like that's like, I had to be like, when Kelsey and I were living together, that's what, like, I had to be intentional with, like, and making sure I told her that it's like, this is my goal. Like, I want to be in bed at 11 o'clock, and she would like kind of help me stay accountable to that by being like, well, I know like it's your bedtime soon, or like Umberto was aware, like we didn't live together at the time, but was like, okay, I'm going to bed, it's midnight, so I'm like putting on my my sleep music. I'm turning off my light. I'm not gonna put on
routine.
YouTube or anything. Like, I'm going to like, no matter how long it takes me to fall asleep, this
don't
is
turn
my
on
bedtime.
the Xbox. Yeah. Even if you think like, well, I have time, I can just put in 40 minutes. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do it.
Yeah. It's like about really like a commitment to yourself, like how sobriety or whatever, where it is like a long-term
It's a good way to look at it.
health benefit. It makes you feel better. You never regret it. It's something that's good for you that you know you need to do. And it's really hard. It's so fucking hard to go
Now
to
that's
sleep when
the
you don't
first
want
goddamn
to.
thing you've ever said that made one piece of fucking sense.
There we go. No.
And I think, of course, to have like empathy and compassion and sympathy for yourself and all those kinds of things and understanding, but also like really trying to have like, give yourself a good life too. And it's like, this is what it takes to sometimes doing things that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go to bed. And like, you should.
It's like,
though,
I do,
and you should,
and I don't. It's like, but I should be doing something else, or I should be just like, I just hate sleeping. It's like
at night. I just want to
just like-
sleep during the day.
it's just I hate sleeping
take
during
a
the
nap.
day. It's like I hate just like doing nothing.
It's so gay. Sleeping's gay.
Sleeping's
you know?
fucking gay, dude.
Derogatory.
yeah. Parentheses derogatory. Oh man, sleeping.
You're ugly. You are disgusting. I'm going to kill you.
Kill you.
It's like sleeping.
So forget about it, cuz.
Yeah, but so let's see. We got a couple things because, of course, we've just been blathering. Like I said, we had no idea what to talk about. I realized I didn't really have much in terms of like bookmarks or notes. I mean, besides speaking of exercise, CrossFit. CrossFit this dick in your ass is what I wrote.
Nice.
This is about the only thing of substance that I wrote. But let's see. I do have here, quite interesting. I haven't read the article, but I just love the headline. New York is seeing the hidden toll of legal weed. Violence,
Oh, I saw that
psychosis, and mayhem. And I kind of just immediately don't really believe that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. New York City ended 2024 with a series of horrific subway incidents linked by a hidden thread, the state's choice to legalize marijuana. Just days before Christmas, Debrina Kawam, a troubled New Jersey woman, was set on fire on the F train and burned to death, allegedly by Sebastian Zepeda Khalil, an illegal immigrant from Guatemala. Yeah, I mean, did you hear about that? That was weird. Like, the fact that, I mean, when that happened, too, she was set on fire, and, like, no one did anything. That was the weird part about it. She just burned to death in public. It was, like...
Damn.
Crazy. But let's see.
Crazy.
And of course, they all went
everyone
over.
was too stoned to help her.
Yeah, that he was deported.
Everyone's all just lighting their joints under flames.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, "What's up, man? Man,
Dave's not here.
you're
man.
on fire, man." Like, I'm too high to make a joke or something. I don't know. But come on.
So she got burned to death by an illegal immigrant who was high on marijuana?
Yeah, let's see here. Okay, so it says that according to a shelter roommate, he was generally a normal, pleasant person who spoke with, quote, good manners and respect, unless he was drunk or high on K2, a synthetic cannabinoid. Yeah, that's not weed. That's crazy. That's like spice. That's not weed. Like, legalizing weed makes sure that people don't smoke that shit. Like, that's K2. Who smokes that? It says
literally, you guys are making this argument that, like, prohibitionists made. I would agree way more with that. Yeah, unless he got drunk. And it's like, yeah, that's why women wanted men to stop drinking during prohibition, because they do get crazy and violent and do crazy things when people are drunk. If anything's the problem, alcohol is a huge fucking problem when it comes to, like, domestic violence or not domestic, or any kind of, like, assault or stuff like that. It's like, often people have been drinking.
And it's like,
because it's hugely available to you, and people get drunk and really fucking stupid.
It's like, and this guy has a substance abuse problem. And it's like, but it even goes into detail here
K2.
and disproves it disproves its own theory here. He was said to have a habit of chain smoking K2. K2 became a scourge in New York City about a decade ago. This unregulated substance, I mean, if you've ever heard of K2, it's totally bad for you. It's just bullshit. They spray herbs with a bunch of bullshit to get you high.
So you're smoking pesticides.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
A notorious 2018 incident saw 56 people hospitalized after smoking a bad batch. New York cracked down on K2 by making the production of synthetic cannabinoids illegal in 2012 and banning their sale entirely in 2015. Okay. The city's health department launched an ad campaign warning users, K2, 0% marijuana, 100% dangerous, which, whatever, who knows how effective these prohibitive things are, but whatever. The message was clear. Don't mistake K2 for a harmless substance like marijuana. Okay, that was the health department's message. But this unusual public health crusade may have inadvertently contributed to the decriminalization of marijuana in 2019, as researchers declared that more permissive cannabis law had the unintended benefit of reducing use of dangerous K2. Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
However, K2 has persistent appeal. Okay? It's like...
Yep.
Well, and then the 2022 murder of Christina Yonu Lee in her Chinatown apartment shocked New Yorkers with its brutality. Her 25-year-old killer was found with K2 in his pocket. Can I get my K2 back? He reportedly asked the arresting officer. I love K2.
Oh my God.
Jordan Neely.
Shit.
Jordan Neely was high on K2 when he was murdered on the subway.
Yeah, so what does this have to do with marijuana?
But it says, additionally, the legalization of marijuana in New York may have increased K2's availability.
But how?
Just
They don't
because
sell
there's
that
smoke
at a
shops
dispensary.
everywhere. So it's like these people that are hooked on K2 or something, or that like K2 and like being freaked out, weird, like zombie weirdos on K2 can now get it more easily just because there's smoke shops that will sell these illicit substances. Just because smoke shops are more prevalent, I guess, is their argument here. It's like, in practice, this allows the stores to keep selling illegal products. Like, what?
No, it doesn't. Those stores are not. That's illegal. That's what they're doing. I feel like my experience with dispensaries is they're so fucking uptight. They're like,
at least
they're
over
checking
here.
your ID. They're getting you I think it's in places where it's newer because, Colorado and Washington, that's like, it's been like a decade or however long it's been now that we've had it legalized.
This month it's going to be 13 years. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking, maybe 2012 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But it is like other places that are, the newer it is, the more strict the regulations are, and then they sort of seem to relax it a little bit. Like here in Washington, going to California and some of these places, so fucking annoying how they do stuff, because I'm like, whatever, it's so easy here. But they have cameras everywhere. They check your ID. They're like, they can only do so much, that they can sell you at a time. It's like, well, whatever. That's anecdotal evidence here, but
That's
I feel
the
like
thing,
that's like,
is that we do it
not
right
how-
and they don't. See, that's the thing, is like, they're like, well, then all these pot shops have the opportunity to sell this illicit stuff under the table to people who want it. All this stuff has all this unregulated stuff. That's your fucking problem. So fix it. New York just didn't do it right. New York just decided to do this differently than an established, normal, effective way of having legalized cannabis like Colorado or Washington. Something that has made money, that has lowered crime, that has done good, that has done well, that everyone's fine with, except for the same people that weren't fine with it to begin with, that are just Puritan freaks, And it's like, because I remember you listened to Come Town from a few years ago after marijuana became legal in New York City, or even when it was just decriminalized, and they were just like, yeah, I guess since they don't care, they're like, I went down to my bodega and they're just selling weed at the counter. It was just like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
They'd be
that
like,
is way different than
AK-47, and they're just selling weed. And it's like, because they're just so bad at this. And it's like, that's your fucking fault. Just do it right. Create a liquor and cannabis board and just do it through there. Have regulated shops that sell it. They make a shitload of money. You'll have people that want to do it, and you'll have people that want to do it right, and they'll do it right. It's not hard. And you have demand, and it will work.
People are still, it's like, I don't know, does it say that K2 use has increased in that time, or that it just people still do it? Because it's like,
no.
Yeah, people still do meth,
Yeah.
People still do crack and stuff like that, and it's not legal. It's not even decriminalized
Do they
anywhere.
think that all these
doesn't...
pot shops springing up they're also selling crack behind the counter?
It's like
just
the
because
opioid crisis? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, since I'm here and you're sketchy because you sell marijuana, do you also have some meth? It's like, go into a head shop and try asking for a incense burner and see how fast you get kicked out, because you're
Literally,
asking for a
going
meth
into
pipe.
A dispensary here in Washington, if you did that kind of stuff, I'm sure that you would get banned for life. They might even call the cops on you if you're coming in there. They're so, because of the Liquor and Cannabis Board being strict. They are, that's why they have to check your ID twice. That's why you can't, there's all these signs. Don't you dare open this product on our, if you get caught smoking, we're going to call the cops on you.
It's like,
blah, blah, blah. They're hardcore about it.
It's like,
but
if you went into a bar,
chill and easy.
It's like if you went into a bar under 21 with no ID on you and went behind it and just started pouring yourself a beer. It's like, it's just, it's unregulated bullshit. Like, why would you do that? Of course they're going to kick you out. It's like, and of course, though, they have to include it in here. Marijuana has been linked to the early onset of schizophrenia in young people and is widely recognized for intensifying serious mental illness in those already affected. It's like, yeah, that's been known for a long time.
Sure.
It's like,
if you do crack and you have schizophrenia, it's probably not going to help much either. If you do any drug and you're schizophrenic, it's probably really, truly not going to be helpful unless it's like a prescribed anti-whatever, psychotic, whatever schizophrenics take.
It's like some people shouldn't use cannabis. It's just like, some people are allergic to peanuts. So the people that shouldn't use it.
Because of their brain chemistry. It's like, they can't take drugs like that. They can't take mind-altering substances when they have this mind that works differently than a lot of people's. Like
I shouldn't drink alcohol, so I don't.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, it's like, what are they going to say next? Schizophrenics shouldn't drop acid, and like all this. It's like, probably some good advice. And that doesn't mean that people that don't have schizophrenia or other like psychotic sort of whatever the term is you want to use, it's like, that doesn't mean that we can't smoke some weed. You ever heard of Willie Nelson, guys? Come on.
This is really weird. This is a really strange article. Traffic fatalities in New York have risen sharply.
He was high on K2 when he wrote it.
Traffic fatalities in New York have risen sharply since marijuana was legalized. No link to a study here or any data here. Pot advocates dispute this trend, but data from Canada reveal a surge in cannabis-related car crashes in the period immediately following national legalization. What?
Okay.
What do you... I mean, I don't understand.
So it's in cannabis-related car crashes? Is that what it said? An increase
No, it just says traffic
cannabis
fatalities. But... Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it. Marijuana legalization in New York has coincided with a rise in overdose deaths from stronger drugs. Yeah.
Which has little to nothing to do with marijuana, by the way.
I don't get it.
You can't overdose on it.
In 2019...
Maybe you get choked to death if you tried to eat some.
It's like... Which is weird, because my first thought, it's like, the fentanyl crisis is out of control. But in New York, overdose deaths per 100,000 residents had an increase that far outpaces the national rise during the same period. It's like, what? It says the data suggests that marijuana legalization may condition people to view the use of harder drugs as more acceptable and, quote, safer to consume. I have never heard this, and but if that is true, and it outpaces the trend elsewhere, does that happen in other places where marijuana is legal? You're not the only state where cannabis is legal. There are, 13 other states where it's just full-blown legal now, or more, I think. Like, I don't get it.
And I just feel like what's always left out of these motherfucking conversations is alcohol. Like, you're talking about hard drugs. You know what people actually die from every year is fucking alcohol poisoning. This motherfucker who wrote this article, you've probably been to a wedding where someone was in the middle of being poisoned by alcohol and could have died if they didn't stop drinking, people throwing up, people passing out, that kind of stuff. Fraternities, kids are fucking dying every single year from overdosing on alcohol. You think maybe if there's a gateway drug, it's that one that literally as soon as you turn 21, you can just go buy almost any store anywhere that is like on like promoting the Super Bowl and is like some of the biggest companies in our country, like maybe if you have a gateway drug, which I'm not on board with all that reasoning, but that reasoning, it's probably motherfucking alcohol that lowers your inhibitions to where you'll literally do crack because you're drunk.
I never even considered nor ended up touching cocaine until I'd been drinking. That's for sure. And that's the
Wasn't
first
because you're
time I
smoking
ever
weed
did
and be like,
coke.
you know what I want? I want to do some meth. It's gonna be totally
I'd be like, no, why?
antithetical to my high.
If you're smoking weed, I'd be like, why? I'm feeling nice,
Gross.
dude.
Yeah.
Gross. Put on Looney
Play some
Tunes.
video games, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Put on some Grand Theft Auto.
Make some nachos.
It's like finishing up the art. For one thing, say on the last day of 2024, horrified New Yorkers witnessed a video of a man getting shoved directly into the path of a speeding 1 train in Chelsea. I did hear about that. The guy who was charged with attempted murder, his father, who lives with him, told reporters that his son's frequent pot smoking had affected his personality. We think somebody put something in his weed, Hawkins' father said. About 3 weeks ago, he was all right, and then he started acting weird. It's like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm sorry, but your son started doing other drugs. Your son's doing drugs. Like, no one puts something in someone's weed. Like,
it
your
doesn't
son's
even make
doing
any
drugs.
sense to do that.
Yeah, it's just, it's like, maybe weed was a gateway drug for him. I don't know, and I don't care, but no one smokes weed and then goes and pushes someone in front of a fucking subway train. It's just not a thing.
And if it's like, and if you are having if you have schizophrenia or whatever, and that does happen because you smoked weed, it's because you have schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's like, it's because it's not just like you smoked weed and now you're like a psychotic person.
Right.
It's already
Doesn't cause
there.
it. It
like your
reveals
brain
it.
is like that. Yeah. So, but it does sound like it's like, oh yeah, and he started doing something else. It's like,
which if we had adequate mental health, resources in this country, could be kind of good. Because it's like you smoke weed and realize that you have some serious mental health issues and be like, wow, I need to go get those looked at. Or like your family is like,
I just pushed someone in front of a train because I smoked a joint.
I need to go see a therapist.
Yeah,
I just murdered someone in front of a bunch of onlookers at the subway.
Something might be
They're like, hey, bro. Like someone pulls you back from the train and they're like, hey, this is my therapist. Take this card. This is my therapist. He's great. He's great. He helped me when I pushed someone in front of the L train. Talk about taking an L,
Nice. Yeah.
But to finish it up, in this way, it's like sometimes I just look at these articles and it's like, why can't I do this? Why can't this be my job? Just to bullshit this stuff. Where it's like, just to write something like this and then just say, linking any specific crime to the use of legal marijuana or illegal synthetic cannabinoids is hard enough, much less correlating legalization to broader crime trends. But there certainly seems so I don't even know why I wrote this article, but except to fearmonger. But
so
there certainly
say whatever I want.
But there certainly seems to be enough pot-related incidents occurring on the streets and in the subways of New York. I mean, none that you listed, to raise the question of whether our laissez-faire experiment with drug use is working. No, there's not. You didn't list any, except for the one that you did that is anything like that is the guy who pushed someone in front of the train, which just happened, as of the time of this recording, literally 1 week ago. Like, you have no other information on that except your dad said, man, he seems like a different person because he smoked so much weed. That's all you know.
People used to smoke weed. It's not like a new thing. It used to not be as illegal as it is now. So
that's true.
In some places it's still really illegal. Like, we were realizing driving through Idaho.
Oh man,
it's
I was just talking
totally
to
illegal.
Justin
there
about
is
that
no
yesterday.
medical exception or anything. It's illegal. You're going back 50 years.
Yeah.
Just crossing the border here. It's like, damn. But I don't know. I guess maybe this person would argue that hippies were psychotic too and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Reefer
Madness.
Oh yeah, well, ever heard of Charles Manson? Old Charlie.
Charles Manson much? Well, I mean, hey, let's stick to the facts, man. Charles Manson never killed anyone. All right?
That's what Renee says. That's what she's like, why would he go to prison? He didn't kill anybody.
It's true. Let's see. Oh, man. Hey, someone says here, But you're talking about hippies, back with Reefer Madness, first comment here from Legs Diamond.
Nice.
Legs Diamond.
Diamond. Hard as a rock.
Back in the 1970s, there was 1.5% THC in the weed. Today's weed has 30% THC. Oh. It's poisonous. I mean, they almost have a point there, to be honest.
1.5, though, that's crazy. That's like nothing. I can't imagine that Cheech and Chong were smoking that like lame of shit back in the 70s.
It is really weak compared to what the weed is
like
now.
Hydroponic and stuff like that.
Back then. But it's probably, you get some good shit, man. Some heady stuff. It's probably 10%, you know. That's why people are smoking hash, you know. Cheech and Chong, they're smoking hashish and they're smoking big fat old doinks, you know. But yeah, it's like whenever I walk down the street and about to pass someone smoking weed, I must hold my breath. All right, you don't know anything. If I don't, I literally get ill. My heart starts racing. I get lightheaded and feel about to faint, and I have to find somewhere away from the smoke to sit down. And I used to enjoy smoking. I'm not surprised the weed today causes all kinds of nasty reactions.
That is so...
Yeah, that's totally not psychosomatic at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't the brilliant lawmakers who made it legal put the same
problems.
restrictions they did on alcohol, like no drinking outdoors, only in the privacy of your own home?
That is the rule.
I don't know what the rule in New York is.
I don't think there's a state where you can consume marijuana in public. I don't think that that's legal anywhere besides there's maybe like some cafes that you can
that is a
weed,
big
but
complaint.
I think it's illegal.
That's a big complaint
everywhere.
In New York.
I smoke weed everywhere.
Yeah, but they say like
I'm like, if you can smoke cigarettes,
there's a lot of places
I can smoke
that just
fucking weed.
Like weed in New York. I mean, just because, and it's like, well.
Yeah, it's like, I want to smell the urine and feces.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, what's the equivalent, you know? What's the equivalent of drinking out of a brown paper bag? I don't know. You're just vaping? I don't know.
You just put it out if a cop comes by.
Yeah.
That's what you do. I'm like, I don't know. It smells like weed, I guess. Right? But, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not legal anywhere.
Yeah,
on just like the
public
street. You
intoxication.
Can't just smoke it on the street.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Public consumption. Yeah. Well, actually, the first reply to this person from 24-Hour Man said, no. Back in the 70s, there was a thing called hash. Yep, exactly. Very potent. But nobody died from it. You can't outlaw public behavior. You need to move away. Get the fuck out of here. This is New York. Get out of here.
I'm not going to, light up a joint in an elevator.
Here.
But, if I'm outside, it's like, I'm outside, guys. Like, get over it. But that's...
Just lighting it up, being like...
nothing like a good New York slice.
Nice.
Nothing like a good New York slice.
Yes. Let's see here. Man, this guy, I don't know how 24-Hour Man does it, but he replies to everyone in bold font. He got like some sort of HTML hack.
Asterisks, I think. It's like an
you could just do it that easy.
Something.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think, well, that's like how some, like I've seen it commonly.
Sure.
But,
yeah, like in WhatsApp and stuff. Maybe it's that easy because he's really
maybe Reddit.
He's really standing up for for the
pot smokers.
The pot smokers in here. He's like billions of taxes collected that would have gone to the local drug gang, but that's your way, right? Go back to the cornered guy trying to unload his stash of moldy, grimy old weed.
Hell yeah!
Let's go,
nice.
24-Hour Man.
That's what I was gonna say. Like in Seattle, they don't like if you're smoking weed on the street. I mean, for me, because I'm white, I don't think they really do anything. I think that if a cop saw you, they'd be like, "That's not a concern of theirs." Obviously, if you're like a person of color, anything you're doing could be, cause, especially with the Seattle PD. But I'm pretty sure that that's been a thing that they've like said. It's not something we're going to be out there getting people for. It's like a very low priority, smoking weed in the streets. It's like kind of like whatever, unless if you're like walking around blowing it in the faces of kids and stuff like that, you're probably gonna get in some trouble.
You mean AKA having fun? Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, don't yuck my yum.
Yeah. Says, I thought this was America. Oh, my bad. Jeez.
You little poopy bitch.
That's what you say to the kids right before you blow the weed smoke right in their face. Like, here, have some of this. Oh, it didn't play. I guess I have way too much silence at the end of that.
You little poopy bitch.
But I even remember, I mean, it depends. Depends on where you are. Probably being white has a lot to do with it, too. Because I remember being in California in 2009. I remember walking down the street with people, smoking a blunt, walking right past cops. And we're like, "Oop, sorry." And like the guy's like, "Hey, come on, guys, put it out." It's like all he said. He's like, "All right, my bad."
Yeah.
Put it out, and we just walked down the street and light it up again.
That's like that Dave Chappelle bit. Hey, you're on 4th Street.
Take it easy.
Yeah. White people talking to cops.
Yeah. They're like, "Hey, what is this?" And we're like,
Nothing like a good New York slide.
He just,
Yeah. You're like, "What does this sign mean?" And he says, "It means up yours, kid." Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Nothing like a New York slide.
Listen up.
Do the cops get you in trouble for smoking weed in public?
They've been known to.
I knew it. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
So, Trump's going to be president soon for the second time.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yep.
Psychotic, deranged, cultist liars.
And if
all of his supporters must be pot-smoking psychos, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
The Marxists.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
All of his supporters.
The anarchists.
That's what they are. But and so the first death from the H1N1 bird flu was today. Mm-hmm. So that's going to start up real quick. We're all going to be locked indoors and have a massive pandemic. So are you ready?
Yeah, I work from home, so...
Hey, I live here at work now. I wonder if that's...
I'm good to go.
Good to go. Hey.
Good to go.
Yep.
Last pandemic barely...
is what he's going to say to all these people. He's going to point at them. They're all going to die.
Yeah. Pandemic had very little effect on my life, quite honestly, because I had an essential job, so I just kept working. Mm-hmm. But it will be... Well, whatever. I just... It's kind of been, nice not thinking about Trump these last couple weeks, like being off work for a few weeks and really just not thinking about anything like that too much. It's gonna be exhausting. The next 4 years are gonna be so fucking annoying. That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best that they're gonna be, is like a nightmare of irritation. And at the worst, it's like, I mean, we're talking like concentration camps and whatever, like really horrible,
Immigrants,
just disgusting, all this kind of blah, 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 blah. What tariffs, price of everything gonna be like absolutely insane if he goes through with all of this broad tariff sort of things. And just every single day, it's going to be something from this motherfucker. And with Elon Musk, I am so fucking sick of hearing about him. I'm so fucking sick about people dick riding him when he's just this stupid loser. He's so fucking dumb. He doesn't do anything. He's so useless. And he's so like... Exactly.
Sorry, I meant to go.
What? Oh, he's just so like, I don't care about his opinion. Look what he did to Twitter. He literally tanked the value of it. He's not a good businessman. He sucks. Like, he's not. If that's his claim to fame, that's not great. Well, if you're saying it's because of business.
Well, it's SpaceX.
I don't.
But.
You know what? I just don't care about that either. I don't give a fuck about the CEO. The rocket scientist, That's cool.
Hell
Those
yeah.
guys are smart motherfuckers.
Like, hell yeah.
Literal
It's like, well,
rocket
look at what he did.
scientists.
The rockets coming back and landing and reusable.
didn't do
It's
that.
like, yeah, that's
You think
cool as
he
shit.
had that idea?
What the fuck does Elon Musk have to do with that?
He doesn't.
It's like when you
He's
see
the one making it harder.
when you see an
for these guys.
F-35 flying around, you think, wow, Marilyn Lockheed. As Trump would call her.
You know,
Marilyn Lockheed.
And you know what? That's so funny. Tim Apple.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers, like, one of my boss's husband works for Blue Origin, and
Yeah.
the way that these places are run is because they're disgusting capitalist pig dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They tell these engineers, too bad. You have to get it done. Too bad you have to work these hours. Too bad this is your deadline. We don't care about the safety. We don't care about your complaints about this.
Yeah.
You have to do this. It doesn't matter. This is like it. We don't care about your expertise, really. Corporate is saying that it has to be done. This is coming from higher up
Yep.
than you guys, because it's about all of the bad decisions that are going to be happening are going to be because of the CEOs.
Yeah.
Like, that's how things get pushed through, is by that profit
All of the
motive
good
side.
stuff that
All of the
happens
cool stuff
is despite
by the
them.
people doing. Yes, exactly. About these really fucking smart, like, so clever and curious and really just like really cool way to think about things. Those people are doing the work, you know, under a lot of pressure. Some of these guys, like my boss's husband, I mean, the freaking weird hours they work, you know, all of this being like, I mean, having to be at work at 3 a.m., you know, and like not being able to do stuff remotely and blah, 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 all this bullshit that the
bullshit.
like CEO types, the corporates are doing, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly. They make these rockets fly and come back and land despite motherfuckers like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, those fucking little dick losers.
Yeah. The guys that make all the fucking money off of it and get to claim that they're doing all this work.
That they're innovative.
While they're playing Diablo and whining on Twitter all fucking day long. Calling people the fucking R word and then claiming that Twitter needs to be a more positive place. I just swear to fucking God. That's why it's funny that
and he's gonna be in the government. He's gonna be in the government.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't even matter at this point. I mean, it's just typical of the Trump administration in particular that, of course, it's not just a billionaire in charge of like government stuff. It's like, that's already horrible. But it's like, it's the richest man in the history of the world is in charge of government stuff, if not the majority of the government, because he has so much sway. But also, it's this fucking dweeb. Like, it's this fucking guy that even Trump doesn't like. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's like, why? Why him? Get him out of there.
And,
like, come on, Trump, have some fucking balls, dude.
I feel like if you're going to be the richest man in the world, you should be like some sort of like warlord. I could respect that more, you know, like that you have some sort of like something going
John
on.
Oliver.
You're like Genghis Khan or something like that coming in.
He's playing around with some of that shit. With how
he's a stupid loser.
He's
Imagine
like
him on a
treasonous.
battlefield. Look at him. He's a chicken-skinned little bitch. Like he's and you know what? I am being toxically masculine and all that. He's not a man. He's just a little blobby bitch boy. That, you know,
blobby.
like Julius Caesar, Napoleon, all these motherfuckers, Hitler. I mean,
Putin.
Those are men.
Putin. And they talked about fucking
Putin.
like being like,
man.
oh, technically he's the rich and powerful one. It's like, yeah. He's the scary shirtless horse riding one that you'd be afraid that he would have you
talking
murdered.
Shit on Twitter, like a little child. He would be like, he's like, that's so beneath Putin. He like doesn't have to say shit. He's 5'7", and he could like look at you and you're like, oh my God, I'm about to get thrown out a fucking window right now. You know, he doesn't have to.
Meanwhile,
he doesn't have to be like all on Twitter, like talking to absolute nobodies.
Yes.
Putin doesn't have to flex his power. He has it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go around. That's big dick energy. That's what Putin's got, because he's like silent. He doesn't really, he doesn't come out and like not saying anything, never saying too much, for sure.
And
doesn't have to prove anything.
His country isn't even like that technically powerful. It's all soft power, all like this weird
espionage.
shit. Yeah, it's like it's not even, they don't have nearly the GDP as the power that they wield, just through negotiation and the infrastructure that they hold. It's just who they are, Meanwhile, Elon Musk is like a deadbeat dad. Half of his kids don't even like him.
He has 11 kids. What a fucking... He has 11 kids. He's a CEO of 3 companies, and he has time to spend all day on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a great dad. What a great leader. What a cool guy.
Says that one of his children died because they're trans now.
The woke mind virus killed them. He was going to sue. He's going to sue people for saying a Tesla Cybertruck blew up when someone literally blew up a Tesla Cybertruck. He's like going to sue for libel because he's so incredibly thin-skinned. He is the like whiniest little baby, and I keep seeing stuff about his mom like being interviewed and stuff. I'm like, who fucking cares who this fucking bitch is? I didn't care. She raised the dumbest, worst type of person. She raised the worst type of piece of shit I could possibly imagine. I think she's probably the worst mother in history. I've just kind of seen, and then of course I click on a stupid article, so then I see more. But you did a bad job, lady. You really did a bad job. One of the worst jobs I would say in history, honestly.
Hey, it's tough. Parenting's tough. we all live in constant fear of raising an Elon Musk or a Hitler or something like that, But man, yeah, totally forgot. Yeah, there was a Cybertruck that had an explosion. Yeah. That's weird. We'll find out more about that, I'm sure.
That sounds like
a former Elon Musk fan that
PTSD.
Wanted to make some weird statement. Yeah,
people get strange. It's very sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like like that seems very sad.
Yeah, I mean the guy shot himself before everything blew up.
Yeah,
that's sad already.
Pretty big bummer. He cheats on his wife, or girlfriend. She breaks up with him, and then he blows his brains out and explodes his truck.
In front of Trump
being
Tower.
A Green Beret and like being all like oh man, this guy's got kind of. He got some issues, I think.
Man. Let's see here. Biden's questionable honorees. Don't fall for the censorship industrial complex's superficial makeover. The censorship industrial complex. That's so funny.
The CIC.
But
but we did have that very warranted standing ovation for our girl with the Congressional Medal of Freedom.
We talked about that in the last episode, though.
Oh, I thought that
Didn't we?
I thought we said it off air.
Oh, did we say it off air?
That was Liz Cheney getting a Medal of Freedom or whatever the fuck they give to civilians here, and getting a standing ovation for this. And also, besides that, warmongering, but it's like, what has she done? What kind of meaningful legislation has she even passed? What has she done with her fucking life to deserve any kind of recognition at that level? What is your contribution to our society?
I don't know.
I think of you as having a dad that shot someone in the face when he was hunting. That's what I think of you, Liz Cheney.
Yeah, she has a dad who survived heart attacks, I guess. Mm-hmm. He's a survivor.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I should have been talking about just a funny little internet thing. Dan Henschel. I know I know I've sent you things by him before. I hate being a therapist. Your problems. Nobody cares. Shut up. He has all these really weird, very odd, edgy characters, things that go too far sometimes. A lot of people don't like him. I think he's really funny. weird satirical shitposting internet humor, yada yada yada, including like what got him famous in the first place was his tweet after he shaved himself bald and he was out at the ocean saying like, what was the original wording? But something what ladies want to meet up because cocky want boing boing. and then the follow up of him with the picture of like someone holding the printout of his cocky want boing boing thing, and then him standing in front of the Target with his Target shirt on. He's like, "Thanks a lot for spreading around my tweet. Now I got fired from Target," or something like that. And it's just he's done all sorts of stuff online. But now I saw his TikTok where he says, "I was almost a school shooter." And he does this weirdly dark thing, this strange satire that's kind of well shot about like how he was almost a school shooter, saying that like he took his gun, but you could watch it. It's still up on TikTok and it's on Twitter and stuff like that. But he decided not to, and I don't know what it was, but my therapist says this and that, and it's just I mean, not even really funny to a lot of people, but an obviously satirical thing. And he shot it at a school. He did this whole thing at like his old high school, I think. And it made the rounds and, of course, upset the wrong kind of idiotic people who took it very seriously and for some reason find this to be threatening. And the police want him for questioning, and now he's trying to get a lawyer, and there's a lot of back and forth on whether like it's actually like even okay for him to do that and whether people should feel threatened by it. It's so idiotic. I think it's the best part of this is the repeated sentiment by many, which I kind of agree with, which is that the original video wasn't very funny. What was very funny is as soon as he is going to probably be arrested or brought in for questioning, now it's funny. As soon as people took it seriously and the police department of Bel Air has posted on Facebook asking like if they can identify this man so that he can be brought in for questioning.
But can you bring someone in for questioning for something like, for what? What's the crime?
Exactly. For like what, making a threat of a possible school shooting that you might have committed 13 years ago. Like, it's really funny. It's a very, very odd thing. And then you don't even know, because then he's like, I might need a lawyer, but then you never know if he's being serious about anything, because he literally never is. But those people that are bringing it up, they're serious. Like, they are being serious. Like, the police.
But it's like, but what's the crime?
I don't know.
I mean,
there is no crime. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny.
And it's like, what if he was like, I was serious. I almost was a school shooter when I was in school. And what if I did go to therapy and this is what I learned.
Exactly.
And you guys are joking about it. But even then, it's like, but it was a joke, and I can make a joke because this kind of is America. So I can say, I can do this, or if it is obvious satire, like you're saying, it's like, but it's obvious satire. So yeah. I'm a TikToker.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what.
It's so weirdly
there's a bunch of tasteless
layered
jokes and stuff. Like, people say all the kind of shit they want on Facebook and TikTok and Twitter or whatever, and like say shit that I feel like seems a lot more like directly like an actual threat, like what to talk about, like Black Lives Matter protesters and like talking about they all need to be whatever blah blah blah.
Meanwhile, people are talking about running them over. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
or talking about
actually
taking away women's right to vote.
I want to do that. Yeah, like that's a threat. Yeah, that's like a fundamental threat to my freedom. You know? Yeah. So I don't see what you could be like. I would just imagining you're under arrest for. I didn't think your joke was funny.
Yeah, exactly. Or if like you were saying, I was thinking that too. It's like, then it goes back to, wait, is he joking? And has he entered this point where you can never publicly be genuine ever again?
Wolf.
Like, exactly. Like, it's way too ironic.
It's a Tim Heidecker situation we got going on.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
The Heidecker syndrome.
We were talking about that, yeah. Or, you can never be genuine. And you could even use acting genuine to create ironic comedy because no one will take you genuinely. So, but it's kind of funny.
New Year's resolution, I don't want our podcast to go that long because I want people to listen to all of it. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's my resolution.
Yeah, that's what I was there wasn't much to say about that. I just wanted to throw it out there so that we'll see what develops about this free speech here with the Bel Air Police Department.
Yeah, interesting. That's interesting.
That's interesting. Okay, all right.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
And well, in that case,
Bitches leave.
okay, I love you.
Nice. Shout out to Danae.
Yeah, shout out to Danae. Everyone
That's
listen to Denacious V.
Oh, yeah.
And she'll probably be doing other interesting things.
She
at
the
some
best
point in the
ever.
future. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Also,
People have to flush their toilet 15 times.
unrelated.
that
but
was Humby after the Brilliant Steakhouse. is what I'll say.
we didn't want our toilet to break. So,
Yeah.
but okay, love you.
Okay,
Shout
love
out
you.
to everybody. You know who you are.
Everybody.
You know who you are.
Especially you, babe. If you're listening, that's who I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay, love you, bye.